Hey there, it's Chavis Camp, and this week's cyber tip, I have the 5 essential actions you must take if your information is stolen by cyber criminals. This is essential advice for everyone because nearly all of us have now been victims of cyber criminals. Thank you, Equifax. Okay. But if you live in South Carolina, you've been victimized probably more than once thanks to the Department of Revenue and now our very own Hall of Shame winner, Prisma Health. This is bad, guys. This is the 3rd time in 9 months that these guys have had a breach. And now the total is up to 45,000 records that have been stolen. So why should we care about this? Because you know what? There's going to be an investigation. The Office of Civil Rights from the Department of Health and Human Services, big federal government agency, they're the ones that handle enforcement of HIPAA-related issues. They're the ones that wield a gigantic spiky bat and come whack people over the head if they have breached HIPAA, okay? We've seen some pretty egregious fines in the multiple tens of millions of dollars. It's been absolutely amazing. That's kind of scary, honestly, if you work in this industry. But that's what we've gotten. And so now we're dealing with a breach of pretty serious proportion, at least it looks like that. Since we have such a close-at-home example so recently, here's what you need to do immediately if you believe your information has been breached. Number 1, and I hate to say this, but seek legal counsel, okay? There's going to be a lawsuit if this is actually real and there's real patient information truly lost. There's gonna be a lawsuit because health information privacy is a right. You have a right to it, and if they did indeed release this information, they have violated potentially your civil rights, and you may have the ability to sue them. So seek legal counsel. I'm sure someone's going to be putting together a class action here shortly. Just my personal opinion. Again, I'm not a lawyer. Number 2, credit monitoring. Buy your own. Now, yes, Prisma will ultimately probably give you something, okay? Go buy your own. I have 3 favorites. My FICO is probably my personal favorite. Very close second is Experian, and number 3 is LifeLock. But get your own, pay for your own, it's much better. More than likely, any settlement that's reached along these class action lawsuit terms will include the fact that they will have to reimburse you for a period of time. That's what happened to Equifax. They had this giant settlement and you could take cash in lieu of a settlement, but then this gigantic bucket over here that was all, hey, you know what, I went and bought my own, you have to reimburse me for that. And so if you haven't done that, if you haven't gone to go find it online, Google it, and go get your money, okay? 3rd thing, go ahead and lock your credit reports and maybe put a fraud alert. I'm not a big fan of fraud alerts on credit reports. They are a pain in the rear to get off once you're done with them. Now they fall off after a period of time, but let's say you go applying for credit in the next year, that fraud alert is going to cause issues. It doesn't lower your score, but it certainly is a flag that some of these lenders will look at. I actually got rejected for credit last year because I had a fraud alert on my account. So I'm not saying don't do it. Just be careful with it, especially if you're planning on applying for credit in the next year. Be prepared to jump through a few hoops to get it removed. And number 4, add monitoring to your bank account. Most of our banks now can notify you if a transaction over a certain size, I wouldn't go for $500, I'd go for maybe $50, gets pulled out of your bank account. Get notified immediately. That way you can take action if your information is breached and you find that somebody's submitting fraudulent transactions on your account. And number 5, just use a credit card. And I know, gosh, Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman are gonna come after me with the big spiky bat, right? But use a credit card and then pay it off every month. Keep your budget. You can still keep your money. You know, I've got this much in this envelope to use this month for this particular expense. But if you use a credit card and it gets stolen or the information gets compromised, you are on the hook for 0. And since it's not even your money, it didn't even come out of your bank account long enough for your rent check or your mortgage payment to bounce because the available funds dropped because all of a sudden somebody's, yeah, can you tell I'm speaking from experience here? Not fun. Okay. Seriously, use a credit card. It eliminates all that. You pay it off every month, and problem goes away. Because if that information gets breached, just cancel it, move on, and they'll give you your money back, and it doesn't even hit your bank account. So those are the 5 things: legal counsel, credit monitoring, lock your credit reports, maybe a fraud alert, monitoring on your bank accounts, and use a credit card. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you, love to answer them. Post in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notified the next time I come online. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.